Hey there, I'm Sandy Reese, Chief Encouragement Officer here at Get Fully Funded, where we show new, young, and small nonprofits how to raise the money they need to fully fund their operations. I get asked a lot about donor newsletters and whether or not they should include an ask. This is a really good question. So first of all, if you're not doing some kind of donor newsletter, you need to be. It's a great way to stay in touch with your donors and keep those lines of communication open. And whether you do an email newsletter or a print newsletter, you need to be really strategic about what you put in it. And a lot of people think, oh, well, if I'm going to spend the time and the effort and maybe the money to send this out, maybe I should ask for money too, just so I can have the income from it. So what you need to do is back up and think strategically. Now, first of all, you got to think about what counts as an ask. Asking for money, yes. So any outright ask for money, whether you're asking for a donation or sign up for our monthly giving program or consider sponsoring a child or an animal, whatever that is, those outright asks for money, yes, that counts. But there are other things that are going to count as an ask as well. If you're asking people to buy a ticket to your next event, if you're asking people to join you for a night at Buffalo Wild Wings, if you're asking people to volunteer, if you're asking them to do anything, it counts as an ask, even if there's not money involved. So you want to keep that in mind. Now, let me pause just a second and ask you this. Have you ever had that friend that the only time you heard from them is when they wanted something? Yeah, thank goodness for caller ID, right? We see that person's number and we're like, I don't want to talk to them right now. You don't want to be that to your donors. When they see an email arrive from your organization or they see a piece arrive in their mailbox, you don't want them to look at it and go, oh no, it's that nonprofit again. And if all you do is show up with your hand out, if all you do is ask them to support this, ask them to volunteer for that, ask them to give this or give that, that's pretty much what you're doing. So you have to be really strategic. Now I want to show you something that I think will help. We have what we call the 3-to-1 ratio that really helps you balance your asking with your non-asks. You see, fundraising is all about a relationship, and if all you do is ask, that doesn't feel very good. So you have to have some things, you have to have some interaction with that donor where you're not asking for money. So let's imagine that this little plastic egg is a non-ask. It's something that arrives at the donor's mailbox or inbox, and its only purpose is to make them feel good. It's to connect with them. It's to build that relationship. This is the same thing as is this blue one. So now I have 3. Let's see if I can hold them all in one hand. There we go. So we have 3 non-asks that are going out to our donors, and their only job is to connect with them and make them feel good. You want to have 3 of those good non-asks for every time you ask. Now let's imagine this big old brick is an ask. So when I'm asking for money, it's a brick. When I'm asking you to volunteer, it's a brick. When I'm asking you for whatever it is I'm asking, it's a brick. Okay, so this is an ask. These are my non-asks. You need 3 times as many non-asks as asks. Now, that doesn't mean in the newsletter. That means in between when you're asking. So if you're planning to send an appeal, let's say for Mother's Day, then leading up to Mother's Day, you need 3 really good non-asks so people don't feel like you're asking all the time. And when you get your non-asks right, then when you do put your ask out there, people are ready to respond, okay? So back to your newsletter. Should you put an ask in that newsletter? If you don't have anything else that's going out that is a nice little non-ask, then I would not put an ask in your newsletter. So I was talking to a client the other day, and they're really excited about a new giving club they've put together, and they're like, let's put it in the newsletter. Okay, see that's how this goes, right? We get really excited about something, we're like, let's put it in the newsletter. But you gotta say, time out, hang on, let's think about that. Let's back up and look at our calendar and see where are all the places that we have asks and where are all the places we have non-asks. And we can't put an ask in our newsletter. If our newsletter is meant to be one of these warm touch, one of these non-ask opportunities, we don't want to just stick in there our ask for, hey, give to join our monthly giving program, because now all of a sudden that one becomes an ask, it turns into a brick, it goes away. And now our ratio is off. Now we don't have enough of the non-asks to balance out the ask. Hopefully this makes sense. So the long answer to the short question is you have to be really careful about asking in your newsletter. It's all about your strategy of donor engagement, donor communication, and when you're going to be asking. You can get more fundraising tips just like this on our blog at getfullyfunded.com/blog and on our YouTube channel at getfullyfundedtv.com. See you next time.